I'm down in the basement at Mom's house. I came home this Easter week, and I just wanted to show you their wall. All our family photos from yesteryear. And I've asked Mom and Dad if they would be kind enough to talk with me. It would be nice to have them on my video library. That's a favorite of mine. Daddy. Jimmy. As a child, I noticed if you looked really close at this picture, I think he's got some snot coming out of his nose. But he's a beautiful boy. There's the baby that I remember growing up. He's so cute. So I'm going to see if I can get Dad and Mom down here to do that interview they promised me. I think I got some pictures. There's one I like of them too. Then and now. So I'm going to go up and get them and ask them to do what they promised they'd do. All right, Daddy's agreed to come down with me right now. We're waiting for Mom, and she's got Carl upstairs planting some flowers outside. Thanks for coming down, Daddy. I know this is a little corny for everybody, but I will appreciate it later, I'm sure. And I've asked you to sing a song. Can you just...
Sing a song?
Sing something nice for me. I love the way you sing.
All right. Oh, the owner told Clarence the clocker told Jockey McGee, and the jockey, of course, passed it on to the horse, and the horse told me.
That's it? Just a quick one? Can you do one of my favorites is It's All You is Danny Boy. Can you give me a quick one of those?
Just one, just a little bit.
Well, give me the main verse, so, you know.
On when ye come, if all the flowers are dying, and I am dead as dead I, well, maybe you'll come and find the place where I am lying, and kneel and say an Ave there for me.
That's beautiful.
That's enough to sing. You want to dance now?
Can you do the old two-step? You used to do that in between the upstairs rooms for us. No, I'm going to, I'll fade out. We'll wait for Mom, and maybe I'll come sit next to you.
Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That was very nice.
Nice to have you around.
Me and Daddy, yeah. It was a beautiful Easter week. I'm so glad I came down for it.
Very nice, yeah.
Listen, tell me a little story, if you can, about me when I was a little girl. Is there anything you remember?
Yeah, I remember you sitting on the curb waiting for me to come home from work, you know, so...
How old a kid do you think I was?
I was supposed to, I would say, you must have been about 5, 6.
Sitting on the curb. I remember going down to the Young's end of the street so I could get the last block with you holding your hand.
That's right, yeah. I was supposed to come home and cut your hair. You were expecting me to.
Oh, I don't think I ever enjoyed that as much as you did, but I do remember your tenderness, and I did enjoy that time you came home from work a lot. I felt bad for you because Kitty was such a screamer. when you would do your cheek rubbing on her, she'd
Oh,
give you
yeah.
a hard time all the time,
Right.
wouldn't she?
She didn't like it, no.
Did you enjoy that? Doing that to her as well?
Yeah, I guess I did, you know.
I kind of felt sorry for you, so I'd let you give me an extra scratching,
Yeah.
just so you wouldn't feel bad.
Right.
Because she didn't enjoy it, and she'd tell Mommy on you, and then Mommy would yell at you, and it wasn't very nice.
That's
What would you do when you came home back in those days? Do you remember just walking into a house of screaming kids? I mean...
No, not so much as that. We were just getting ready for supper about that time.
Right. You'd come in at 5, 5:15, steady?
Yeah. Maybe I'd stop for a cup of coffee.
You did?
Yeah.
Where, like the candy kitchen?
Yeah, like Corky's down there.
Oh, good. So you did get a little peace and quiet before you came home, because you
Yeah,
knew you wouldn't get it there.
I needed it, yeah.
A little relaxing.
Yes.
Would you come home every day for lunch?
Yeah.
How did you do that?
I walked home some days, and other days I drove home in the car.
But every day you did it?
Oh,
I mean,
sure.
you never brought lunch? You never ate in town?
No.
Every day you came
I'd
home?
have to go almost as far to eat in town as to come home.
I guess, but again, while it was quiet here at that time, or...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So Mommy would make you a sandwich, or you do yourself and go back?
Well, depends. If Ma was there, she'd make a sandwich usually.
Yeah. And, were those good times for you?
Oh, yeah. No regrets about those times.
Really?
They were
And we're all happy? I mean, you don't
Yeah,
remember
I don't
just
remember.
the hectic, the yelling, the screaming?
I don't remember anything that was too tough to handle.
That's amazing to me. I can only imagine.
Mm.
I really can. It just sounds like it must have been the
No,
hardest time of your life, in my opinion.
No, we never thought of that, though. Those were one of the best years. Not one.
Yeah,
That time was
I can imagine.
not the best years.
Well, you did real good. I'm sure you're very proud now.
Yeah, look at all those pictures we got.
I filmed that
We-
first.
we
I
were-
went around the room and ended up on your wedding picture and said, next I'll have the
Right.
real thing here.
We wouldn't have all these pictures if we,
What did the guys at the post office give you a hard time each time you said my wife's pregnant again? I mean,
I never told them that. If they wanted to find out, they could just look and see.
did you take a leave when the babies first
Sure.
came back every time? Were you taking
When
a
Ma
week
was in the
off?
hospital, I'd take a couple of weeks off.
A couple of weeks?
Yeah.
See, these
Be
things
home
I
for
didn't
a
know.
while when she came home.
Yeah, and you remember that newborn stage and waking up in the middle of the night?
Oh,
and
sure.
that kind of stuff each time?
Yeah.
Do you remember the day I was born?
The day that you were born, I think I
It
do.
was a summer afternoon.
Mostly Saturday. Most times it was a Saturday.
I looked and I was born at 1 in the afternoon.
Oh,
I noticed that. It was a summer day.
yeah.
So, Mommy just walked in the room. So we'll talk with the two of you. We'll head out. Okay. Okay, Ma just walked in the room, so they're prepared. Ma, you wanted to start with something?
Yes, I'm going to give Daddy a big kiss. I get some comments that they never see me kissing, Daddy.
Oh,
Believe me, we do a lot of kissing in private, right, Daddy?
Yes. Oh,
yeah. I kissed Daddy the first thing I sat next to him,
That's
too.
very
It just seems like a good way to go.
He's a sweet man.
He
We
is a
don't have
lovely
many
man.
arguments, mainly because he won't argue.
Oh, well, that's a man thing. My husband, men don't do that as much. They just don't want to be bothered with it, so that works out good. I panned around the room here before you both came down, showing the pictures of old and new, and ended up on the wedding pictures, 43 years under your belt. What do you got to say for yourselves?
Well, it's funny that you should ask us to do this today because we were engaged on Easter Sunday.
Is that right?
Yes,
And it's an anniversary?
Over at Rothman's.
Rothman's.
I never heard of
Well,
that
actually,
place.
It was
Yeah.
the Saturday night before, but the family sort of celebrated it on Easter Sunday.
Uh-huh.
And yes, I got the ring at Rothman's. And
Was it over dinner?
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
it.
yeah.
And what'd you do, Dad? Was she expecting it, kinda, or did you really feel like you blew her away with it?
She's always been expecting.
It took a long time for it to happen, but no, not really. We met, as I say, we met in July,
It was a blind date?
a blind
Yeah.
date, yeah. Nan, Dick,
Was a friend of yours?
You worked a nurse at the hospital,
Yeah.
and she asked Helen Vincent, her name was then, and I, if we would come to a party at her house on Saturday night. It was sometime on 4th
Helen
of July.
Vincent, now Helen Dick,
Yes.
also a nurse at Mercy.
They're also a nurse at Mercy. And we went there, and we had a lot of fun at a big party at their home here in Westbury.
Mm-hmm.
And
How big? I mean, we're talking two
a
dozen
lot of
people?
Yeah. Oh, no.
Oh.
No. 20, 30 people maybe.
And among them being?
Among them being Leo and Daddy, Leo Dick and Daddy, who had just come back from a trip to Canada.
Oh, yeah? What was?
Upstate, and visited with Leo's relatives in Buffalo, correct?
Right, that's right.
Yeah, and then came home, and they were there for this party. They picked Helen up first, and I saw them coming up the path.
Oh, the boys came to get you. You girls
they
didn't
came
go.
together. No,
All right.
they came together. And
Daddy, you met Ed Forker that night for the first time to pick up Mary?
I don't know when I met that man. But
You don't recall it
I
that
don't
night?
recall. No.
Okay. But, Mommy, you recall him walking up the path?
yes, and I'm, wondering which one was.
Oh, were they
My
assigned
date.
to each of you? I mean,
Well, more or less, yes.
just depending
yes,
on...
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Leo was assigned to Helen, and Phil was assigned
Well,
to me.
had you met Leo knowing Nan first?
No, never.
Okay.
Never.
So you had your eye on him? Is that what you were saying, or you just
kind
wondered?
of. I thought he was a pretty good-looking guy.
Oh,
Yeah.
Leo?
No, you.
Oh.
Yeah. You were a good-looking guy. You still are.
Anyway, then we went to the party, and we had a very good time.
Yeah, you got
And-
drunk?
No,
Oh,
no,
no,
but
kid.
I
It was a
just
fun
had
party
good
for those
time,
days.
yeah. And well, I don't know if I should tell that part.
Oh, come on. We know you were necking like crazy,
That's
right?
right.
You tell that end of
very
it
first
every
day.
now and then.
Can you imagine this man?
Well, the four of yous? Was it two in the front seat, two in the back?
No. Going home, we were singles.
Oh, Daddy had his own car?
Yeah, going home.
Oh, okay. And you knew he was for you? I mean, you felt it in your heart that first night, or you just knew you liked him?
I thought he was nice. I was going out with another fellow at the time, down at the beach, who I was working at the beach that summer,
Yeah.
all summer.
Did you mention that to Daddy that night?
No, I didn't, but I must say that the fellow on the other side was very upset.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause
Well,
Daddy used to come down the beach and pick me up.
Yeah, you mentioned his name before. What's his name?
His
do you
name is John Lockman.
Lockman.
He's a judge now.
Is he still alive?
Yeah, sure.
Living
much
on the
alive.
island here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Came to see me one day. I think you just wanted to check out how we were doing.
And you dated the Bronsky fellow for a little bit?
Oh, well, that was just, that was when I was
nothing.
in training. That was way back.
Daddy, did you date a lot before Mommy?
Enough, I guess. I never had much money. That was a depression first, and then
No.
in the Army, I wasn't much better off as far as money goes.
So you really didn't take girls out to dinner and do what they do
wouldn't
now, or?
Think of it, no.
Yeah.
No, I was broke over that.
Okay.
You didn't have a steady girlfriend before Mommy? Anybody she
No.
needed to know
in the
about?
Army, there was some little gal in England that he got quite friendly with.
Really?
She was knitting for you, right, honey?
You must have told her about it for her to
Anything
know
in the
that.
month.
Well, yeah, you only knew me a night.
And you got, you get letters from her, or how did you know about this English girl, huh?
Because he used to tell me that she knitted things for him.
Oh.
Never knitted a damn thing.
Who knitted for you? Somebody.
I got a sweater for her mother.
Oh, her mother.
Oh,
They were interested in you.
An army sweater I gave her.
You gave it to the mother.
Gave it to her. I never saw her mother or anything.
No.
Oh.
Well, that's interesting. I never knew
That's
about
very
that.
nice.
So the rest is history, right? You got engaged at Easter and married in November.
Right.
6 months later or so. And then you started your beautiful family.
Yeah.
What about that? I
Billy
mean,
was born on our anniversary, actually, September the 12th.
uh-huh.
We were married on November the 12th. Billy was born the following
Did you
September
know?
the 12th. And Daddy said to me on the way to the hospital, "Happy anniversary."
A month early.
Yeah. well,
On the
it's
way to the
just 2
hospital.
months.
Yeah.
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 Well, it was our 10th
Oh, yeah.
month anniversary.
Oh, I see.
10th
how
month
sweet he
anniversary.
is. Did
And
you
Daddy
know
sent
from
me
the
flowers on my first anniversary.
first month?
First month.
First, yeah. I remember
we
you
still
saved
have-
that
You got-
card.
We still had those flowers too.
Really? She
I
saved
had
them
the
for...
card forever.
On that desk.
Really?
Yeah, in the living room.
Uh-huh. She saved them all. I remember the
Remember,
card
it had
that
the-
you saved, too.
Had a plant in there, you know, with two things on the side.
I never realized those were the flowers,
No,
though.
those weren't the flowers, honey. You also bought that.
Well, the
for-
lamp was
Daddy
the same.
had a lamp. We had in the East Meadow. We had a window, you know, like a picture window in
Yeah.
the front. And Daddy, that was for another anniversary. You bought me a plant, well, which we used to have on the desk with two.
That's what he's talking
Yeah.
about. Yeah. Did you know from the get-go that you were going to be a mother of a big brood?
Everybody asked me that. I
Yeah.
said no, I don't. People say they
wasn't a-
remember me saying I was going to have 12 children. I don't ever remember saying
People have told you that?
that. Yeah.
Mm.
Evelyn Doyle tells me that all the time. You always said you were going to have 12 children. I don't know. First place, I don't remember talking to Evelyn Doyle that much, but
Yeah,
I
people
don't
tell
remember-
you.
It wasn't exactly planned. I mean, I didn't have any number in mind, but I didn't have any stop number in mind either.
Right, right. What, would people at work make funny faces back then when you said you were pregnant a fifth, the
If
sixth,
they
the
did, I
seventh
didn't
time?
notice it. I was oblivious of it all.
People
I was
weren't
very
laughing at
happy
you.
preg-
People, I mean, you know,
I was
nowadays people have
I
babies
was
back
very-
to back, and people are whispering like, "What the heck is she thinking in this
Well, I
day?"
think
and age?
Leo Dick once said to Bill, "What are you trying to do? Populate the world or something?" Don't you remember you came home from bowling one night and told me that?
Were you ever offended? Sometimes I was offended by comments like that growing up. What's the
That's
matter?
it.
Your father didn't have a hobby or something like
Yeah.
that, and you take it very personally.
Oh,
It's not a nice.
I didn't listen to that stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't care. I was very happy. Those were the happiest years of my life.
That's what I was asking Daddy before you came down, you know, asking him how when he came home from work, did he remember just the chaos, the screaming? I mean,
It wasn't there.
that's what he
It
said.
never was there. We were I had good children. We were very organized. Daddy helped
That's
always, and it does. People say, "Oh God, it must have been terrible." I don't remember it as a terrible time at all.
Yeah.
I don't remember it at
Well,
all.
everybody's different. Everybody can't do it.
Yeah, but you guys did, and you should be very proud of what you have today.
I
I'm
am
very proud of you
we
too.
Are, you know that.
Yeah.
You know that.
Well, when did you guys start traveling? I mean, when were you able to really do it on your
I
own?
can remember the first trip we went on was when Richard was about 5 or 6 years old.
Hmm. Was it not until Billy?
You all kid about and carry on about how much I go now, but you have to remember all those years that we always had friends. I'm not going to tell you we didn't have, you know, we had a great group of friends here in
Circle.
Westbury.
Yeah.
We had parties and things like that. We used to go to West Point, and sometimes even stay over. You
Yeah.
know, so, and people would help me. I mean, a lot of it was when the older ones were. Really, I kind of left them in charge.
Yeah.
And
When did you start? It wasn't until Billy got in the airlines that you started your
1970. we
Europe
made our first trip.
runs.
so
we
Richard
went
was
to
4 years
Ireland.
old.
Ireland with the Corrigans, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Each place we went in Europe, we went with the Cargans.
Oh, really?
And 3 years in a row, we went and then no more.
1970.
They went to Italy with you?
1972, we went to Italy.
In
remember
1973, we went to England.
England.
Oh, I seem to forget a few of those. And you still had to take care of us as far as, even though we were older and in grade school, you shipped us out at different places. A week you took, is all?
A week.
Bethy and Ree were in high school then.
Yeah, but I remember going over, you know, to the Koch's house, Kitty and I,
Yeah.
and different places.
Ma would go to the hospital.
No, this is more when you were doing your European
Oh, yeah.
vacations.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, people helped. Took people.
Yeah.
Children.
Well, speaking of your children as they are grown adults now, I would like to just hear your views on each of our personalities, who we are today. And I'd ask that, you know, you tell me what you think each of our greatest assets are. And we'll start with Billy. What comes to mind about Billy? Do you think he emulates either of you? Is he
I think
Daddy's
Billy
side?
is very much like Daddy.
Yeah.
Personality, easygoing.
Uh-huh.
Um,
And his greatest asset is his...
oh,
What do you think, Dan?
I mean,
It's hard to say, but I'm just saying what comes to your mind when you think of Billy. I think, like you said, I never thought so, but a lot of people, well, I think he is now, but a lot of my girlfriends would point him out as good looking.
Very handsome. Yeah,
Right.
Well, that's that in that way he resembles Daddy. That.
Oh, like you said, his whole
Daddy
demeanor.
was very good. Yeah, he's a good-looking young man. Billy is a very good-looking young man. I think.
And then, like you said, he's just
a nice
he's easygoing, and
he must be a very good salesman. He did very well with Alitalia. I think I'm very proud of each one of my children.
And like they said in Daddy's Chaminade yearbook, he's probably welcome in any social gathering like Daddy was, right? You remember they said that about you?
That's what they said about me.
Yeah.
And I was voted most likely, most wanted.
Meaning what? Most wanted. Is that a joke?
Really? I didn't know that, honestly.
Most wanted in the post office pictures? That one?
Right?
Yeah.
Most, yeah.
Okay. How about Jack? Obviously, I think he emulates you.
Yeah, Jack is more like me.
He's.
I always say that I am the G.O. of the good. Daddy is
the ode.
Slow.
O-D-E.
What does that mean? Oh, the go. I get it. There you go.
Yeah.
A little acronym there.
Yeah. And
what's his greatest
Daddy is, of
asset?
course, more, who, Daddy?
No, Jack.
Oh, Jack. Oh, I just think his probably, that he's a go-getter and
He's just an all-around guy.
Perfectionist and he's aggressive. He's,
All right, now we get to your girls. How about Bethy? Who does she
Bethy,
take?
I don't know. I would have to say she's more on my side too, and she just is. I don't want to cry now.
You can. You got a tissue. She's your everything girl, isn't she? She did all the right things. She was your right-hand man. She went to Georgetown. She's just a beautiful girl for all of it.
Oh,
And we all love our Bethy, so you don't have to feel bad about that.
And Rita as well.
Yeah, Rita and Bethy were a duo.
Rita is, as much as they were together, Rita, I think, is more like Daddy. She's quiet, but she's very loving, and
she's got her own way.
She calls every Saturday.
She's dependable that way, like you are, Dan. How about Tom? Where does he fit in?
Well, Tommy is sort of like the comedian he always was when he was a kid.
That's his greatest asset. He's got a sense of humor that could get everybody.
Sense of humor, and I'm very proud of him too. He didn't go to college in the beginning, but
everybody seems to be doing their schooling now. Did Tommy? Do you feel like he's got the G.O. in him, the O.D.E.? Where does he fit as far as? Do you think he's in the middle there where you really can't?
He's somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
He's got go, and he can, he's quiet.
He's creative and imaginative. That's one of his assets I like about him too.
Right.
And Peter, I think you always used to talk about him as being the one. I mean, it wasn't until Peter that you really had someone that was pulling your plants out in your drawers.
Yeah, he was a terror when he was a kid. Always.
I mean, what worked for everybody else did not work for him. Is that what you're saying?
Well,
as far as the upbringing things, he just was.
He did. But I mean, I never heard for the first 5. I never heard from teachers,
Right.
But right from kindergarten.
Yeah. I don't want to.
And I always felt badly for that because I felt that in Catholic school the nuns just told the next one, and I really don't think
he was just labeled. He never got a fresh start on any grade.
No, he never got a chance.
I don't want to upset you with this because with what was he, your 6th kid? But is he where you really had to start using Daddy's ties to tie him into the crib by the foot? I mean, you just had to keep him in one spot, or what?
Yeah, I guess so.
All right. Yeah. Now we come to Therese. She's got a special place in your heart.
Always said Teresa was the child of my soul.
And what, she said that at a very early age. What did that mean?
Teresa wanted to please you every day. I mean,
as a little girl?
As a little girl, she did.
You just remember her doing for you?
Well, not doing for me, but making sure that what she did was pleasing to me.
Well, that's something. That's a special little girl in your heart.
She was very good,
Do you remember her, Daddy, as being
Oh, yes.
just something
She was
special?
the prettiest one that we brought home from the hospital.
Oh, her baby picture is
Yeah.
gorgeous. It's true. She was a tiny, pretty little thing.
I thought they were all beautiful. I remember now, sometimes when I look at the baby pictures, I guess they weren't as, everybody wasn't outstanding, but I think they're outstanding now. We have an outstanding, good-looking family. People all mention that.
Who comes next after
Peggy, yeah, I remember her.
she is
You were always a
something,
very
huh?
good girl. You were always Daddy's girl. The Mrs. Hall always remembers that you'd go down and sit on the curb at the corner
Yeah, we were
and wait
talking
for
about it.
Daddy to come home.
I love
and
my
walk,
daddy.
Walk home with
Hand in hand.
hand in hand.
I think I just wanted that quiet quality time before he got in the door, because then I knew he'd be
Well, he was
ransacked.
never noisy when he got in the door. But what happened was he was many times just rushing off to work. Off to the
again.
track, yeah.
Yeah. So you barely got a meal in him, and then he was off again.
That's right.
And those days,
But you were, you were
Yeah.
a very pretty little girl.
got a good start. Tell me about Kitty. She's your little girl to this day, and now you're raising her little girl with
Yeah,
her.
well, it's. I have to say, it is nice having one of you close to us, and we are enjoying Megan very much. And
Did you see
and
what?
Kitty is good. People tell me that Kitty is a lot like me, and probably that's why we sometimes cross
Her little friction.
swords a little bit. But
Did you
I
see
know
her?
we're very good friends, and I know she sends me beautiful, beautiful cards.
Well-
which, you know me, I love those cards and what they say.
Right. Did you see
I wish
her?
I could go up, and I think I will, and if you give me a minute, go up and get the card Daddy sent me for our anniversary, because it's just
Okay, we
beautiful.
can
I'd
end
like
with
to
that
read
one. Yeah. Was Kitty always, rebellious as a kid? I mean, did she give it right back to you like she's doing now?
No, never.
No, she was
Never.
real.
She was a very quiet.
Oh no! You see, you say that. I remember her as the screaming Mimi. You know, when Daddy
Yeah.
scraped his face against her cheek, and she was
She
just.
didn't like that, really?
She was a screamer, but
I don't remember that.
she, you look at that family picture of the 12 of us, and I remember as being that little peanut of a
Yeah.
kid,
Yeah, she
was always little.
scrawny. And Carl, tell me a little bit about Carl.
Carl was another
Handsome baby.
handsome baby and a good boy. He just, he was very, very lovable, and still is.
Yeah, he had a little Jack in him, wouldn't? I mean,
Yeah.
he's got. He loves to
He's
please.
very
And
thoughtful, very.
What's
always
it-
has
Good
been.
worker.
what's he doing now?
He
At this minute?
He'd always give you anything. He's planting flowers for
Yeah.
Easter from the outside.
I had a nice talk with him on the way down from Albany, and every now and then you feel like you really don't know your brothers and sisters unless you sit down and have a sit down with him. And like you say, he's been a go-getter from the early
Oh,
years.
I'm very proud. I never realized what a good businessman.
What a worker he is.
Yeah.
He, those days when he'd hang down at the liquor store, he was earning money since he was 10 years old.
Absolutely.
And cleaning his room as a kid, I'd go in his pockets and take my tip out while I was gone. That was one of
never missed
the
it.
fringe benefits there of that room cleaning, because he wasn't supposed to have that much money, so we really couldn't tell Mom I'm shy, $20.
And you would take that much?
No,
Oh,
I'm just saying I take that much when I was taking the dryer load out. You find the bills in there.
$20?
Yeah. You
Oh,
don't
wow.
report it. That was your
You're
tip.
lucky. I've been doing a lot of washing. I never found $20 in my life.
No, you didn't report it. That was when, undone. And then Jimmy.
Well, Jimmy is another daddy.
Daddy, that was the
And I'm
only
very
child that you
proud of him,
named?
too. I
Yeah.
think he's
You
doing-
picked the Francis, too? You named him
Daddy
James
named-
Francis?
Daddy loves the name James.
Yeah, that's what I...
Because that's what I understood. He
He's
was
the
the
only
one
one.
you named. I mean, your
Oh, no.
I've
Pickens,
always had them named in the hospital
before you really had
I always
a say-so.
I told you. It worked out that everybody was named after someone. Billy was, of course, after Daddy.
Mhm.
And then Jack was, I had a brother, John Lawrence, and his father was John Lawrence. And
Elizabeth?
Elizabeth
And
Elizabeth Ann was sort of her Aunt Elsie, but he had a sister, Ann Elizabeth.
Oh,
So we figured that worked too.
were?
And Rita Rita was really for crippled Rita, who I
St.
knew from
Giles.
where I worked, and she made lovely things for you girls, clothes, made dresses, made coats, dressed dolls. She was very, very good to us. But Daddy also had a sister Rita.
Oh, that's right.
And Thomas, I had an Uncle Tom that I loved very much, and I named him Thomas Edward, and that's the same name as an uncle of Daddy's was Thomas Edward.
Plus he had a brother, Thomas.
I know.
And then
that was
Uncle
a
Tom.
I never.
That was your uncle.
Oh, Tom Brennan.
Yeah, Tom Brennan was
Yeah.
Thomas
Tom Brennan,
Edward.
but the other baby that died in his family was...
Was also Thomas. He had a
Yeah.
brother Thomas too.
Right,
You had a brother Thomas.
Yeah.
right.
But Uncle Tom, the farmer, was
Yeah.
Thomas Edward.
Peter came from...
And then Peter was just Peter Michael, and a good Irish name, we thought. And then
Everybody was
Trees
naming their
was
kids
after
Peter.
my sister, Trees. And
Margaret.
then Margaret, you were named after Margaret Kranz.
And Feely got
And
happy.
Margaret Feely, who was your godmother.
Right.
And then Kitty was named after Daddy's mother, Catherine Agnes.
Your
And
sister.
Carl was named after Dr. Bem, which shocked Daddy's family. Glory be in the month of St. Patrick and St. Joseph. Carl. And then Jimmy, Daddy loves the name James Francis. And Richard,
Yeah, now that brings us to Richard.
I don't know why. It's probably, I would have to say, he was named after Richard Kaplan. I always liked Richie Kaplan.
And there was contemplation of the name Martin.
Martin. I liked St. Martin de Porres.
And that wouldn't have really any
But
family relevance, and
that-
Daddy didn't go for it.
Daddy didn't go for it.
Yeah. And tell what Richie's got to be the apple of your eye at this point.
Well, no, he's very, very special, and always he's another one who's very, very thoughtful. He's sort of a combination. He's a go-getter, and yet he's quiet and deep, and has done very, very well. I'm very proud of him
Next
because
month
he did a
he'll
lot of it on his own,
go to his graduation,
and he got himself that job that enabled him to
continue.
go
And
to law school.
He
and-
supported himself all through law school.
Right. We sent him very little money. In fact, he asked us not to send him money. We sent it anyway, but
He really
far
doesn't.
less than I often feel we should have. We should
Yeah.
have sent more, but he did it. And
He gave you some rough sailing during his high school years. He was telling me
Well,
recently.
that was those
Just
were
the
incidents.
teenage.
I was surprised that those things happened to him. But
Did you feel like you really had a real one-on-one with him from an early age? I recall the two of you talking like over
yeah.
morning breakfast, and the way, you
well,
know...
he used to, when I used to go to work and go lay down, sometimes he'd come and lay in the bed next to me and talk to me.
Did you enjoy that?
Of course.
Getting inside his little head and...
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
He always used to say, if he was born around the time of Christ, he would have been one of the apostles. He said that as a very little boy.
Did he?
Yeah.
Plus his artistic work cracked you up a little too
Oh, yeah.
back then.
Yeah, he had some. That was pretty good.
What was I going to say? Did it ever disappoint you that you didn't have a priest or a nun in the family?
No, I thought a couple
Could
of times
happen.
that maybe Jack or Richard, I guess those were the two I picked. But it didn't disappoint me.
Yeah.
What they wanted to be was fine with me.
Right. And you're proud of the careers and the spouse choices and the families.
The in-laws are all beautiful people.
Yeah.
I love them all very much.
you do
I
have
think they did very well.
a beautiful family. You got a funny story that pops into mind about anything? You always used to tickle the...
Neighbors with stories.
Yeah.
I have a lot of stories.
Well,
but
you heard them all.
I know we heard them all, but just like one for the...
all
For
right.
the
Jimmy,
for the
I guess
record.
that's the best one. When Jimmy got lost one day, he got out of the fence and he was gone, and Carl Lidstrom used to come past the block all the time, and there was always someone in the playpen out there, and he always used to wave to them and talk to them, and sometimes apparently give them lollipops, because you guys used to call him the lollipop man.
Were you sitting out there with them, or...
No.
You just put a kid out in the playpen back in those days?
He wasn't in the he was older than the playpen.
Oh, I see.
He was between 3 and 4 years old.
Is this the day
Right after
Daddy's
the
at
yard.
work?
Huh?
Is this the day that Daddy's at work?
Daddy's at work.
Okay, so you realize
I'm
the
here
kid
by
is
myself. I
missing.
realize he's missing. I look around. I can't find him. Carl Lidstrom is coming down the block. He said, "Mary, what's wrong?" I said, little guy got out of the fence, and I can't find him. And he said, "Oh, listen, he's probably down by the school." And there used to be a playground in the front of Drexel School. Do you remember that?
Yes.
But yeah, and he said he's probably there. And he said, "I know all your children look alike. I know that
I
know
can
them. And
spot
if I
'em.
see him, I'll give you a call." In the meantime, a policeman drove up with Jimmy in the car.
Had you called Daddy frantic at this
No,
point?
not
You
yet,
didn't? You just
no.
figured he'll show
He'll
up why
find
upset him?
Yeah, well, it really, all this took less, you know,
20
it went
minutes,
rather
maybe?
quickly.
Yeah.
Apparently, he wasn't off the block. He was
Okay.
down by the corner of Fulton and
How old a fella is he? He's walking.
Between
He's
3 and 4.
Oh, man, you must have.
3 and 4.
Well, couldn't you look up the block and see him?
He wasn't there up the block. He was already, I'm sure somebody already, well, the woman did a foolish thing, I mean, to pick him up. Even the
take him.
policeman told him that. And down by the bank, there used to be a police booth. And they brought him down there, and the policeman said to the lady, "You shouldn't have taken him off the block
We
because
don't know
probably
which."
there's somebody there who would know him." And in the meantime, a lady came by and realized what was going on, and she said, "I know who that is. That's one of the good children. They live on the corner of Lewis and Grand." So the cop brought him back to me,
Mm-hmm.
and
Did he
I-
fine you?
no, he didn't say a word. Jimmy was a funny little kid. At the time, Harry Kaplan wanted to was making pictures for the police department, and Jimmy was a baby then. I don't think he
Mhm.
was a year old. Remember?
I
And
remember
Harry
that.
Kaplan sent 2 cops for him to take pictures over there. I handed him to the policeman. He went off with them. He posed for the pictures, and the cops brought him back.
No screaming. I remember those pictures. Didn't he have a diaper on, just?
Yeah,
Did
just a
Billy go
diaper
with him?
and a hat. And,
Did
yeah,
Billy
Billy was the next version of it.
Yeah.
Then Billy had the same hat.
I think he was a little teary-eyed in those pictures.
Jimmy, I don't think so.
No?
No, he was. The cop said he never cried.
That's
He
funny.
never cried.
So,
Anyway, so
Carl
I'm
Lindstrom
now
is
giving
looking
him his
for him.
lunch, his sandwich, and the phone rings, and it's Carl Lindstrom. And he said, "Mary, I have your little boy."
Oh,
I
boy.
said, "Oh, I don't think you do." I said, "He's here eating his lunch." He said, "Isn't that funny?" He said, "I said to Miss, he looks just like one of your children." And I said, "Are you a good boy?" And he said, "Yes."
That's a classic. Did he return that kid? I mean, where was he with
I
them?
don't know.
Oh, boy.
I never heard that end of the story. I just said to him, "Carl, you better let him out because he's not my good boy."
That is crazy. All right, we're going to set Mary up over at the table there. She's going to play us, how about Red River Valley?
You like that?
And Daddy can sing with you, and we'll close out doing that. Hang on a second. All right, Mommy was talking about sharing a card that Daddy had given to
A
her.
beautiful card that I'll never throw away. From Daddy for my anniversary, on my birthday.
Yeah.
You're a beautiful person, a wonderful wife. You're my very best friend, the love of my life. You're more than I'd hoped any woman could be. You're the best thing that's ever happened to me. Happy birthday. Love, Bill.
What more can you ask for after 43 years of marriage for a guy to feel that way about you? All right, Dad has his harmonica. It took a while to dig it out. He's not been practicing like he used to. And, Beth, I guess you gave this little organ to Mommy. She found a few of her old organ books, and I set her up with putting the numbers on the organ, and this is what really got her playing. So, what song have you guys chosen?
This is Red River Valley.
All right, let's do it.
Wait a minute. Excuse me. Let's start again.
All right, you gonna sing too, Ma, or no?
No, I can't sing.
You are leaving. Daddy's one step ahead of you, I think. She got to pick up the tempo, yeah. Oh, that was pretty good, Dad. Well, it's got another verse.
Brother Red
River Valley
and the cow for that love you so true.
Hey, Ma, I heard you last night doing that green sleeves. That sounded pretty good. Can you do that for us?
Green sleeve, what's that?
Yeah, she was doing that What Child Is This with all the tempo thing. Oh, and she's got the beat. I like that, Ma. You did good. Ma, while you're playing with that, tell us what Paul said this morning.
No, I'm not going to tell that
Oh,
joke.
come on, do it at the end.
No.
That's it? That's all I get from you? Hey, you too. I love you very much. Thanks for helping me out. Bye.
Bye.
We're going to watch it now.